Hi everyone, it's Louise Pearson back with another video in the series about when you're the one with a life-limiting illness. And this one is about being your own best advocate. And as you know now, if you've been watching my videos, I come from a place of lived experience because I have pancreatic cancer, but I'm also a counsellor working in this area. So, advocacy in this context means self-care, in my opinion. Advocacy means being able to state your opinion, means being able to seek out what it is that you need. And I think that when you're your own best advocate, then you're able to get the things that you need to support yourself. So when we have a life-limiting illness, as I've talked about before in previous videos, feeling powerless is part of the territory. So, information and opinions are coming to you from all directions. We're learning many different things. There's new terminology, there's things that we never thought we'd be dealing with, but never mind, they're there. So I think it's important that we give some thought to what frustrates us the most. Is it being a number in the public system? Is it how long you have to wait for treatments? The lack of options that are available to you? Now, we can't always do things about these sorts of frustrations, but sometimes we can. And so I think it's a good thing to do to sit down and explore those options of what sorts of things you can take back some control over. Can you see a specialist privately, for example? Can you go into a private hospital? Can you, if you're told that you can't have an MRI for a couple of weeks, can you ring around to other areas in Melbourne to see, are there any availability in that place? Great, I'll take that appointment. These things can really help us and I guess take away some of that sense of powerlessness when we're actually able to get some answers more quickly for ourselves. So I guess some points to consider is that we need to use our energy when we have it. If you're feeling really depleted at the end of a day of treatment, it's probably not time to tackle difficult questions, to explore other options. But when you have the energy, the next day or the next couple of days, that's the time to do it. Look around the situation that you're in for some wriggle room. And with something like cancer, I absolutely acknowledge sometimes there is none. And that's just devastating. But like I said a moment ago, can you get that appointment any earlier? What about seeing a different professional? Other people might think it's a waste, but if you've heard of something and you want to try it out, is there any pros and cons to doing that? Rather than just accepting everything that is said to us, I think we need to ask questions. When people recently were talking to me about a CAT scan, we were talking about when it was booked in, and they said it takes a few days to have a CAT scan read. And I laughed because my knowledge of CAT scans is that they can be seen, if they're seen by the right person, within minutes. So, don't just take it as given because someone says it to you. We need to check our facts. And, it's easy to, I think, we accept what people say to us. We don't want to be pushy. But this is no time for taking something that you're not comfortable about and running with it. Think about what will support you. Look at options that I've talked about before for peer support. Those Facebook groups, the peak bodies, like pancare that I keep mentioning, or MS, or epilepsy, or different cancer groups, whatever it is that you have, see if you can find some peer support so that you can discover from other people's learnings. I guess finally I want to say consider If it was your best friend receiving this treatment, would you encourage him to just accept what's being told to him, to just accept poor service? Because sometimes we do experience that. Sometimes we have great service, but sometimes we don't. And would you expect him to just take what is given? The other question is, what would you do about it in her defense if that was your best friend? What would you be prepared to do? Who would you be prepared to speak to? What sorts of expectations would you have for her care? I think it's important to speak kindly to yourself as you raise your voice and ask for what you need. An old friend of mine used to say that what someone else thinks about you is none of your business. And I think that's a really good point in this situation. I don't really mind if medical professionals think that Louise Pearson's difficult to deal with. What I want is good treatment. It's what I need, it's what I deserve at the moment, and this is no time to be faint-hearted. It pays you to speak up for yourself. I'm hoping you found this helpful. If you have, please press like and subscribe to my channel, and I'll be back soon with more in the series about when you're the one with a life-limiting illness.